All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Speak Black Man podcast. I am your host, Jason B. Allen, better known as Professor JBA. Now, of course, I am going to ask you to go ahead and subscribe to ETV at educationalentities.com. You should see that at the bottom of the screen. We want to make sure people get connected to the conversation. So go ahead, like, subscribe, share this out with others. Now, I want to get right into Jay's Corner this evening so we can talk about community power, what's coming up in the community, because, of course, there's no community power if there is no UNITY, no unity. So here are some upcoming events to keep you connected. Of course, on this Wednesday, two things are happening. Super excited about it. Dignity in Schools is kicking off their week of action. Basically, if you do not know about Dignity in Schools, they are about 15 years old. They've been doing the work in this space, amplifying young people and their voices. So I'm super excited to help kick them off. They are a partner of the National Parents Union, of course, bringing together families to advocate for better educational outcomes for kids. So we'll be doing that at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But also, the No Cap Zone is going to be back on this Wednesday at 6 p.m. Javon and the Students for Equity group. So make sure you check them out. And I also have to say, of course, on October the 19th, Lily's Foundation is having our annual Halloween Masquerade Ball, which is going to be super dope. I am excited about this event because it is going to be amazing. Our cousin, Chrissy, who is also a fellow educator, and she is a singer, music teacher by trade. So she will be performing with our amazing annual special guest Hassan Green and his band. So I'm super excited about the live music, which will be giving some tributes and celebrating the 80s. So the music is going to be simply amazing. Go to liliesfoundation.org to get your tickets now. Also, because October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I have on my pink shirt, and it is also our foundation shirt. Now, you can't see the back. I would try to model that for you, but I tried to do that in a board meeting before this podcast, and that didn't work out too well. So we do have shirts we'll be selling at the Allen Wing Gala. This pink shirt is super dope, breast cancer awareness, but it's also just simply amazing, right? A great color. So make sure you pick one up at the Allen Wing this weekend. Those are all of my updates for community events. Now, I will also say this. I have to, and let me bring this up right now, want to shout out a fellow organizer who shared this information with me for, where is it? All right, Black Man Vote Day. Now, October 19th, of course, early voting will start. We are encouraging Black men across the state of Georgia to get out and early vote. Now, you can also go to the National Parents Union website. Every family votes. Listen, help your family make a plan. Your family could be, of course, by blood, by adoption, those who you have just brought into your village, into your nest. Make sure that everybody in your family, your loved ones, has a plan to go and vote. We're not telling you who to vote for, but we are telling you to exercise your right to vote. If you've been paying attention to the podcast, we've been highlighting how Black people in this country, specifically Black men, have been targeted with messages not to vote when no other demographic is facing that. So let's make sure we get out, exercise that right to vote. All right, that is all for Jay's Corner. What's happening in the community? Again, we want you to be connected and engaged. Go to liliesfoundation.org and get those gala tickets. Now, this guest is no stranger to the platform. On this evening, we are talking about, are the people well? Self-care, mental health and wellness, but also how are we handling stress? Getting ready to close out this year, and we know that that can be a very stressful time for people. So without further ado, we're bringing on the good brother Barney Jackson. Uh, this is a celebrity, guys. I'm so honored to have this guy back on
Really?
this podcast because he's super dope. But Barney, please tell the people a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and some of the phenomenal work that you're doing.
Awesome sauce, man. I am no celebrity. Thank you, Professor JBA, for having me back. Again, I am Barney Jackson, the Executive Director of Every Color Matters Cancer Awareness Foundation, which is based here in Atlanta, Georgia, and we support those that are going through any form of cancer. This is our foundation is 8 years old. We are excited to continue to do the work in the community. Sorry, I can't talk tonight. We're excited to continue to do the work in the community to help those battling various forms of cancer. I guess before we get started, y'all go follow us at Every Color Matters on Facebook, Instagram, and we're also on LinkedIn. So check us out.
Now they also have some very cool shirts. I'm shocked that Barney doesn't have on some type of shirt, headgear, something, because he's always like in this amazing um, merch, is what I call it. And he actually, really inspired us to go ahead and get these new shirts as we
You
bring
better rock
in
the
10
brand.
years of
Yeah.
the foundation. So I'm super excited about that. And I don't want to prolong the time on this evening. I want to give you some time and space, Barney, to talk about Every Color Matters. Again, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but there are also other cancers that are also, highlighted during this month. And there's a lot of education that goes into this work. So let's start off with about Every Color Matters. Why is this important? And why, to be quite honest, is this especially important to Black people in this country? So yeah, let's hear from you.
Yeah. So awareness in general of cancer and how you can get screening, that sort of thing is super important. So a couple of years ago we launched a campaign called Don't Wait, and it was just us encouraging people to be in tune with your body, right? Like we'll put health screenings off because of work or family, or we're always putting ourselves on the back burner for other things because we feel they are more important. But when it comes to your health, you only get this one body, right? So you should take care of it. You should be in tune with it. So we're always encouraging people just to listen to your body. If your leg is hurting for an extended period of time, or you have a headache for an extended period of time, and you've taken medicine and it's not going away, go to the doctor, get it checked out. Don't wait. We know, and statistics tell us that early detection saves lives. It can extend your life. We have seen that firsthand, and so we push that more than anything. Like, just be in tune with your body. Do not wait or put your health screenings off. Um, just some top stats for and research that I kind of do here and there. So we know, like, this year alone, 2,200 people will be diagnosed, according to stats, with cancer in the Atlanta metro area, and approximately 44,000 people will be touched by cancer directly in the state of Georgia. And so for Every Color
Wow.
Matters, it is super, super important that we continue to push awareness and people know who we are, and encourage people, especially in our Black and Brown communities. We are an organization that does not discriminate regarding color, race, religion, or anything like that. At the same time, we do see that a lot of our population of recipients are from our Black and Brown communities or our underserved communities that don't have access to insurance and don't have access to the advanced treatment and that sort of thing, or at least they don't know they have access to it.
Sure.
And so it is one of the things that we strive to do, to make sure that people understand that you have the access. You just have to get it. You just have to apply. You just have to go and do it, and not do it because you don't think you have access to it.
Right.
Because that's what we hear a lot. Well, they're not going to treat me because I don't have insurance. You don't have to have insurance to be seen. Don't allow fear. Insurance does help, right? At the same time, they're not going to turn you away. There are always programs that will get you the assistance that you need. So let me now. I don't want to say you don't have to have insurance. You do need
Yeah.
insurance, people, let's take you do
You
need
need
insurance,
insurance.
but don't
And
stop you.
I want to, in working with modern American families, there are more people who are facing barriers with healthcare than people would like to, realize. And I also am really acknowledging that we all do have a level of privilege,
Mhm.
because being able to work a full-time job, I've kind of looked at going up the totem pole in a sense, and being able to see how if you get advanced degrees and if you get additional certifications, you really could, kind of make it. I ain't saying
Yeah,
you're gonna be rich, but you can kind of make it
yeah.
in this country. But I also want to, again, without reinforcing the importance of civic engagement, but doing so,
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
I need the everyday American to realize that the way that we vote does impact our ability to get access to health care that is affordable, not
Mhm.
just health care. And this is why this conversation is so important,
Mhm.
because people don't understand that all of these things are decided by people who are in public offices that have a responsibility to big
Mhm.
businesses, but also to the everyday American citizen. So when you
Yeah,
hear Barney make the statement that, there are resources, yes, there are. There are resources to help you with getting the care and access that you need. But I
yeah,
also want to say that this is even more of an importance as to why Every Color Matters is in existence, and why we have to support grassroots organizations on the ground like ours that are doing this work.
absolutely, absolutely. Just like one of the stats I read recently or a few weeks ago, it costs like average of $14,000 to get treatment, to get cancer treatment. And so we are one of those organizations that we, one of the things that make us unique is one, we raise awareness of all forms of color. Two, we give our money directly to the patient. So we're not giving our
Wow.
money into into like a hospital or a research or anything like that. We are specifically about the person. And so if you ever want to know if you're donating to Every Color Matters, where the money is going to the actual person. Like we just had our 5K. I'm sure we'll talk about that later. But
Oh, we
we
going into it, yeah.
yeah, we enjoy knowing exactly where the money is going. We have requests like utilities. You know, we've had people to say, "Hey, I need my light bill paid," because some people go home with a chemo drip, and that battery pack has to be charged. And so, if they don't have lights, then they're not getting their treatment because they can't power it up. Right? They need help getting to treatment. So we provide transportation, financial assistance to get them to and from treatments and that sort of thing. Groceries. You'd be
Yeah.
surprised, like the small things that we take for granted, that people that are going through treatment, they either are too tired to get to groceries, they don't have the money because they're choosing to do a treatment over buying food, yeah. And then I'll share some things that are coming up too that are pretty exciting, that we're another thing we're going to launch this year too. So
Yeah, I'm excited about that. We're actually getting ready to go right into the 5K walk, and why this work is so relevant and important to our community. But I also want to say that just thinking about when you are ill, and if you have a headache, for example, and it's been
mhm,
a couple of hours, you get weary and you get tired in those
mhm,
moments. So in saying that, now think about someone who has to go through this daily and how it
mhm.
does impact their day to day. I also will say synergy between both of our organizations is that we support caretakers,
Yeah.
and it's not easy, caring for someone, whether they are ill, whether they are aging. I will even say, there's a connection to parenting, because
Cool.
parents are caring for children
Yep.
as they are
Yep.
infants until they are of age to be out on their own, go to college, start their careers, it's maybe build their own family.
Yeah.
It's not easy work, but again, it reinforces the urgency behind such amazing work that these
Yeah.
foundations are
Yeah.
doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, with that being said, Barney, talk to us a little bit about the 5K. First of all, it was phenomenal. It
Thank
is hard putting together events. Let me also say this, just in talking to so many partners across the nation with NPU. There are a lot of nonprofits that are struggling with funding, struggling with programming,
you.
struggling with finding their niche and kind of like rebranding themselves so they can reach more people and also
Hmm.
have other streams of funding. So it's a lot in really doing this work. So I want to say thank you, one, and also like celebrate you in the same sense for being able to pull this off. Now, with all that being said, brother, talk to us about how you pulled off an amazing 5K walk during October when there's all types of cancer awareness events that are happening. I also want to reinforce that this is the Black brother that is leading this work around cancer awareness when this space is heavily led by women, and no, not knocking women at all, but just want to
Right. Right.
also say that as an ally and as an advocate in this space, it's amazing to see a Black brother who's leading this work. So talk
Thank
to
you.
us about the 5K.
Yeah, man. So this past Saturday we had our fourth annual 5K run walk, and we ended up having a little bit over 300 attendees.
Wow.
We confirmed 185 or 87 registrants that actually participated in the walk and run. And I will say I have to stop and say thank you to my team, because it wasn't me that pulled it off. I have an amazing team that works with me tirelessly. I absolutely appreciate them and my board of directors for allowing me to lead them into the various events that we have. But yes, the 5K run walk I would say it was a huge success. We, of course, have our own critiques and that sort of thing that we want to fix behind the scenes. But we're also going to sit in a moment of gratitude that people showed up. The community came out. Leaders came out in support of those that are fighting various forms of cancer. It was a task. It was a challenge. I'm not gonna lie. It is not for the faint at heart to say you want to do something like this of this magnitude for the community. To your point, I believe there was another cancer awareness walk or run happening in Atlantic Station, and so for me, and I've had people to say we should reconsider like when we do it, because it's October, it's already heavily, populated with other breast cancer awareness events. And I'm fine with that, because we're not just doing breast cancer, we're doing everything. And so we're not going to allow just people that are battling breast cancer to fight by themselves. We want the neck cancer patients, we want the brain cancer patients, we
That's
want the
good.
lung cancer patients, all of it to happen. And we just so happen to do ours in October too. So join us.
Yeah.
If you get a bigger scope of the cancers that people don't really talk about. I was encouraged Saturday because somebody walked up to me and said, you know what, I came today because you weren't just highlighting breast cancer, but you touched my cancer. And I remember she said, I remember when I was diagnosed, it was hard for her to find an organization or support group, and to know that there's an
Yeah.
organization that's bringing awareness of all forms of cancer and being inclusive to all made her really feel good about being out and
That
being
is.
so.
No, that is good, and I mean, people need that support, and it's important. I want to give everybody like a call to action, right? So this week, I was gonna really originally say like, okay, text 3 people tonight, call 3 people tonight, and check on them. But then my team was like, okay, maybe you're doing a lot. So I will say this, like, text, call 3 loved ones this week,
Yeah,
check in on them, and let me tell you why it's such a taboo subject, cancer, within our
absolutely.
community, within the Black community especially, and there's a lot of shame that comes with that.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
are different types of cancer, even outside of prostate cancer. You
Mm-hmm.
can have skin cancer, you can have throat cancer, a lot of things that people will say, oh, Black people don't get those things,
Yes, they
or
do.
you have to be like in a certain demographic to get this type of cancer. I'm like, no, you don't. Men
Nope.
also get breast
Breast
cancer. So,
cancer.
brothers,
Absolutely.
you need to get checked. Like, it's just about awareness, and
Mm-hmm.
also what excites me about the work is the education piece,
Mm-hmm.
because again you get to learn
Yeah.
about you know the education of our bodies, the wellness, the how does
Mm-hmm.
stress impact us. So just thinking about that, text, call 3 loved ones this week, check in on them. I'll also say between September and October, a lot of people transition. Just think about all of the celebrities and
Mm-hmm.
dignitaries who have passed away between September and October alone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then think about the everyday, American who
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
lost a grandparent, who's
Yep.
lost a parent, a spouse. There were 11 families in North Carolina in that crisis, 11 families who lost moms and dads. Children lost
Absolutely.
both of their parents. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
major thing. And then, life is happening. How are we handling trauma? And so, these organizations, the awareness that we're bringing to the work of caretakers and those, especially when Every Color Matters in regards to people who are battling cancer, is
Mm-hmm.
major. Like
Yeah.
it's really major work. So what's next for Every Color Matters, Barney?
Yeah,
What's next?
man. So what's next for Every Color Matters is we are in December. Well, we had an actual Christmas tree at the 5K. So people were like, why do you have a white Christmas tree at the 5K? So we are doing what we call our version of the angel tree, if you've ever participated in that, and we're calling it Home for the Holidays. We believe that just because my parents are going through cancer or battling cancer as a child, children still want to see something with their name on it under the Christmas tree. And so we launched this campaign, this event, this movement called Home for the Holidays to assist some of our past recipients and those that are battling cancer with getting their children something for the holidays. Nothing, it may not be anything major, but at least they will wake up to something under the tree. So that was kicked off this past Saturday. All of our angels were taken from our guests that attended the 5K, and so now we're having to go back and find some more. And so if you're interested in adopting a family for the holidays, you can reach out to us, send us an email at info@everycolormatters.com. We will have some more names, some more families by the end of this week, and we'll be able to push those out. So that is probably what's next by the end of the year. I will say Friday, we will have a presence at South Lake Mall.
Oh, cool.
Macy's, South Lake Mall's Macy's, and they are hosting their breast cancer awareness event from 1 until 6 p.m. So we'll be there facilitating a panel discussion, talking to some breast cancer survivors. Every
Oh,
Color
good.
Matters presence will be there. Yeah, we've been a
What
part
time on Friday?
from 1 to 6. I think it
One to
starts at
six.
12, but everything will start kicking off at kind of like 1 o'clock. So
Okay,
yeah,
that's cool. So
the
if you're in
panel.
the area, go
Yeah.
and definitely check that out. Now, Barney, I also want to put you on the spot and say this.
Uh-oh.
Um, December is a major time to really help, uh, especially caretakers.
Yeah.
It's a heavy thing to support them. I'm curious to see if we can collaborate on a fundraising event. I think we can
Okay.
raise a good amount of money for caretakers, those who are supporting those battling cancer, and also caretakers who are uh, raising their grandkids and
Yeah.
supporting
Yeah.
their grandkids. We have a couple of grandparents who have lost their children to cancer, and
Mm-hmm.
so it's one thing, especially around the holidays, that they're grieving the loss of their child.
Mm-hmm.
But they also are having to raise
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
grandchildren, and it is raising a grandchild after you raise kids is no easy battle at all. But it
Right. Right.
also is difficult when your child has passed away from cancer and you
Mm-hmm.
have watched them battle the disease and also fight for their life to be here as long as they can with
Absolutely.
their children. So yeah, I will message you
Okay.
offline about that. But if you guys see something online about a caretaker's holiday party, listen, y'all come out and celebrate and support because it is a good mission.
Yeah.
I know we are at the end of time, so I do want to, since I was going to let you like be like, hey, tell us about the event and leave off. But since you're on the whole time, I might as well ask this. It's the end of the year.
Yep.
And for those who are viewing, I'm curious about this because most people will say, well, I can try to get it done. But listen, what goals can you accomplish for the end of the year? Like a lot of people set off in January and say, hey, here are things that I want to accomplish and do, before the year closes. And guess what? It's October, y'all.
It's
December will
October.
be here before we blink 3 times and hop, jump and skip in place 3 times as well. So, Barney, what are some goals that you want to accomplish? I know one of them is probably raising funds for
Yeah, yeah.
caretakers for the holidays, but maybe what are 2 other things that you set out to do for this year that you want to accomplish before 2024 leaves us?
Yeah, so I will say, we've crushed a lot of our goals, and I'm so grateful for that. Like we set out a goal to say that we were going to double the amount of recipients from last year. So last year we assisted like 24 people throughout the year. We only needed to beat that goal is do 48, 49 to beat it. And so I am excited to report that we've done well over 100 people this year. And so I'm just keep pushing my team to do that. I want to make sure I would love to make sure that we are assisting at least 20 families. And I know like we have I think about 23 kids, but I want to assist 20 families for home for the holidays. And
Wow.
so I need about 10 more families to make that happen. And so that's a goal of mine. So again, JBA, we'll talk offline and see how we can partner there because it's all about help, right? It's all about help.
Yeah.
I would love to again raise about 15K, 20K before the end of the year to push out more money before the end of the year's out and go into the new year pretty solid. So yeah, it's just we have people sitting in our queue now that need assistance. And so it's always an opportunity to raise more money so that we can assist those that are battling various forms of cancer. That's what
Yeah,
I would
I love that, and I'll give this to you for free.
like.
I would definitely say capitalize off of the storytelling aspect. Digital wellness is a major thing. I definitely see Every Color Matters in that space of digital wellness and also health literacy, because again,
Mhm.
it's the education piece around the various cancers and also being preventative, right? Like,
Mhm.
don't wait. That's an amazing T-shirt. I actually have that shirt. I'm looking at it on my um, bookshelf. But um, just thinking about a digital campaign and helping to amplify the voices of caretakers and, you know, continuing that ongoing conversation throughout the year that I know you guys do a magnificent job, again, of sharing the stories of those who you're serving and also those who are serving them. So just want to encourage you around that. And
I appreciate
um,
it. Thank
everyone, what goals do you want to accomplish before the end of the year? Don't forget, you still have time. And don't wait. October is a good time to make sure you go to the doctor. Again, it's also a good time to reassess your healthcare
you.
coverage. And I
Yep.
will
Yep.
close us
Open
out on
enrollment.
you know, open enrollment season. Start shopping around for insurances for your home, for your car, for yourself.
Hmm.
Um, Life insurance. It's a good time, especially in the change of season, to remind people to check your smoke detectors and all of those nuances in your home to make sure that you are safe and you are well. And also, thinking about renter's insurance. If you are renting, it is important to make sure you get all of those things in place. I'm just thinking about all of the things that impact our health and wellness, and that can be stressors around
Hmm.
this time of year. So, Barney, thank you for being on, man. The
Of
amazing
course.
work that you're doing. People love Every Color Matters. They also love you and this amazing
I love them
advocacy
too. Thank you.
that you're elevating. And again, I'm excited about being able to collaborate before the year closes out to support caretakers
Let's
for
do it.
this work. So again, brother, thank you for being on.
Thank
This
you.
episode is centering Are the People Well? thinking about health and wellness. And again, make sure you check out Every Color Matters. It is super amazing work, guys. We have to make sure we're taking care of ourselves and our families and our communities, because we got to take care of the things that are surrounding us, which includes our access to clean water, clean air, thinking about the biohazard, the fire that happened here in Georgia, but also just so many things that are happening. So again, make sure you're taking care of yourself. This episode is dedicated to bringing awareness to cancer, all of the different forms and types of cancer. I have on my pink shirt for Lily's Foundation. You can get your shirts for Lily's Foundation on this weekend at our annual Halloween. Again, thank you guys so much for all of the support. Share this conversation with others so we can help educate them on cancer awareness and making sure that we are physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually taking care of ourselves. Again, as we get ready to close out for episode 4 of the Speak Black Man podcast, I want you to remember we are more than a dream. We are more than a stereotype. We are more than fear and anger. We must share our stories, lift our heads, and speak Black Man. This has been the Speak Black Man podcast, episode 4. We'll see you on next week, 7:15 p.m. Peace and love, everybody.